A hilarious new stand-up special from comedy legend Jim Gaffigan, The Skinny, is coming to Hulu November 22nd. This Thanksgiving, see Jim in a whole new light as he gives you the inside scoop on everything from parenting teenagers to weight loss and gaslighting family members. For everyone in need of a happy hour, the new hilarious stand-up special, Jim Gaffigan, The Skinny, premieres November 22nd, streaming on Hulu.
Kroger Delivery makes it easy to do your holiday shopping in a jingle. There might be a lot on your to-do list, but thanks to Kroger Delivery, you can get everything you need delivered straight to your door at the same great prices you'd find in store. Our refrigerated trucks always ensure that your groceries arrive fresh. And right now, you can save $20 on your first order of $75 or more and get free delivery with a Boost membership. Restrictions apply. See site for details. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Ask me, ask Iliza anything. It's time to ask. Ask me all your questions. Leave them in the Instagram comment section. Leave them on your Twitter or leave them on your Facebook. We'll see them, we'll read them, then we'll give you answers. You know it, I've got it. I've got the answer. You ask me, I'll tell you anything.
On a very special after-school episode of Ask Iliza Anything, I am joined today by one of drag's greatest, one of comedy's greatest, my personal favorite, and I am somebody who watches every season of RuPaul's Drag Race, but my personal favorite from all seasons ever, the incomparable Bianca Del Rio is here, everyone.
This is like the best introduction, most ass-kissy introduction. I love all of that. That was nice.
No, I just, I remember, so season 6, so it was a couple seasons ago, and I remember watching, and as a comic, I was like, oh, she gets it. You're not funny on accident. I watched the show religiously, and there's a lot of queens that some are very smart, some are stupid, and it's like, oh, she said something quirky. Yeah. But I was like, oh, that's an artist with polished zingers. You were unflappable. You just, there was an art to it. I know you probably won't, but you came to kill, and you did.
I appreciate the compliments, but I tell you, it's one of those weird things where you don't know. I mean, also to set it up, I know I was 37 when I got on the show, and I turned 38 while we were filming. So it was just one of those things. I didn't think I'd be one of the older ones. I didn't know what to expect of who's going to be there. So when you kind of get into the group, it's just this pressure cooker. So you're there, and I'm usually the one to just move things along. So I felt that way when I was with these people, because I was just like, what the fuck are you talking about? Why are you crying? Let's just get through this. So it was an experience for me. And in the end, I thought I was being nice the whole time till I started watching it, and I went, but that happens.
There's the chemical imbalance most comedians have. You're like, it's comedy. They're crying.
Completely.
And I wonder, and it's so funny because usually people get dragged for being an older queen, but when you're funny and when you're smart, I always think about that. If I go to an audition and, the women there, I mean, I'm a pretty girl, but if they're more beautiful, I'm like, yeah, but they're not funny.
Exactly. Well, it's also just know your strengths. And I think that's the crazy thing, is that there was a time, and I think I might have said this before, where drag queens had to have an act. Either you were a singer, you were an actor, comedian, you were a dancer, you were, whatever, illusionist. They always had it. With Drag Race now, it's a little different. Now it's kind of like these kids that look great in an Instagram photo now want to do drag. They go on this show. They don't really have the personality. They don't really, they've never worked in a club for $50. They don't know what that side of the world is like. So I think it was kind of like this blessing. Well, it was obviously, in the end, it became a blessing. But in the beginning, I didn't know what to expect or how these people were going to react to me, So you just kind of get into the groove of it. You do what you can, and you hope for the best. And I knew that even if I didn't win, I was like, it's all right. I mean, I'll still get something out of this,
Absolutely. Just the exposure alone. And of course, being a part of that family. I feel like more is expected. You know, each season as an audience, we come to expect more and more from the queens. And I, as just a straight woman watching it, I pull everyone in because I'm like, look at what they have to make and sew and do and conceptualize.
Yeah.
And you being funny and like a very shoot to kill comedian. Now, when I watch it, I'm like, oh, you've got to have a personality and be able to do comedy.
Yeah.
In this last season, I don't know if you watch it. I never watched Last Comic Standing after I was on it. Like, I didn't care.
Yeah.
There was one named Gigi Good who was like model gorgeous, but could do the comedy. And I'm like, that's right. But I don't know if she could have existed as that without someone like you being like, oh, by the way, you better have a fucking brain.
Well, you would hope. You hope they have a brain. And what's crazy now is like when people ask me, you know, what do you think of the show? I go, it's a completely different show than when we did it. Back then, you went on the show and you hoped you had a career. And now it's like people are banking on it, you know, and there's season after season. What are they on? 12, 13 now or something crazy?
Something.
Where you're like, and 42 all-stars, it's like, Jesus Christ, like they just keep spitting it out. So there's over like 200 of them that exist in this, 200 of us that live in this world now. So it's kind of sink or swim. You got to get out, you got to do what you do and hope people like it, you know?
And to be able to carve out that world. Now, you've never done All-Stars, right?
No. They haven't.
Somebody had a question about it, and I just have to say, I don't watch it because I was like, I watch original competitions and I don't want to see leftovers compete.
It's shady. I love it.
You lost. But I'll find the question, but somebody did ask about you doing All-Stars.
Well, there's always these wishful people that hope that all of the winners get together and then compete. But to be honest, no one has ever asked me from the production company, and I'm not interested in doing it. Like I said, it's a completely different show now, and I'm not interested in spending thousands of dollars to go on a show to hopefully be liked by a panel of judges I wouldn't piss on if they were on fire. So it's just that setup, you know?
There you go.
I've had a good run. I came out unscathed. I'm not interested in going back. I'm good.
I totally get that. So before we get to all the questions, because people were so excited that you were coming on, we had like a loose mutual acquaintance in common, and I was playing Ybor City, the glamorous Ybor City, where the mayor is a rooster, and you were at a club down the street, and this was a couple of years ago, and I said, oh, I'm such a fan, and of course, it's always hard to meet other entertainers because we all work at the same hours at night.
Yes.
But he walked me over to your club, and I still to this day haven't been to a drag show, even though huge drag queen fan, watched the show. And I think I met you in your green room.
Yeah, my green room. It was like a locker room with like 6 other dancers. You had a dog, and
I did. It was Blanche.
And we were backstage in this awful. I mean, that room. I mean, it was full of crackheads, go-go boys, drag queens. A lot was happening.
Per your request.
Per my request, because it's in my rider. Yeah, but it was one of those wild club nights. I think it had to be like 2014, I believe, because it was right after I won that I was on the road, and I was doing every gig there was. So I was in beautiful Florida, and that's where I met you. Right after, it was either in between the show or after the show. I can't remember.
I think it was in between. But what I have to say, and this is, I felt such a connection, even though we only met for a minute, with you, because as a comedian, as an entertainer, people don't realize, like, I walked into your show and I thought, this is gay 8 Mile. People are hanging from it's sweaty. And I looked at your stage, you weren't on yet. And I was like, it's basically an octagon, and they're just pulsating around you. And you're there to be like, shut the fuck up, I'm talking.
It's wild.
And I was like, it felt like stand up in like those smaller rooms where it's just you. And I was like, oh, this is the closest I've come to someone that gets how horrific this job is.
Well, not to mention, like, I mean, I've done it for over 20 years, 25 years in January, that it's like I've worked every shitty venue there was. I used to do bingo in the afternoon, 6 to 8 p.m. during happy hour. Now, you're drinking at 6 p.m. You don't want to hear some fucking drag queen calling out bingo balls, but that was my audience. Sometimes 2 people, sometimes 70. It just and you're doing it night after night, week after week, makes you appreciate these fabulous moments now. So it's
and these fabulous moments on these podcasts
completely
where you get to
look. I didn't have to get in drag. It's fucking fabulous. Trust me.
Oh, I'm pumped. And also, so you played Wembley. You're the only drag queen to play Wembley.
Well, it's Wembley Arena in the UK. And it was wild because I'd done really well in the UK before. It's a lot smaller than America. Mm-hmm. But I did really well in London, prior to it. So it wasn't a vanity choice. It was strictly based off of ticket sales. So we had done 3 nights at the O2 the year before, which I think was 3,000 a night or something, the Apollo. I get them confused. They all look alike. And then I did 3 nights in a row.
All the green rooms look alike.
It's true, that's why I asked the Go-Go Boys to change it up. But we had, I think it was 3,000 a night or 2,500 a night. So it was just mathematically, they said, well, let's just go to a larger venue. So I was able to do that, which was wild, surreal, and completely crazy.
No, that's something we all aspire to, and that's so fucking cool.
Fall has fallen, winter is on its way, the days are shorter. But just because, they feel shorter. And just because the days feel shorter doesn't mean your to-do list gets any shorter. You still have to power through your busy days. And a great way to do that is with nutritious food from Factor's no prep, no mess meals. At the end of a short day in the fall or the winter, the last thing you want to do is have to cook. Factor has got you covered from breakfast, snacks, dinner, anything in between. Factor has easy, nutritious options to keep you fueled, like their chicken Florentine with spinach and garlic chili cauliflower. You bet. That's what I want to make myself at the end of a day where I am exhausted and my husband isn't home. Whether you like routine or you enjoy mixing things up, Factor has you covered with 35 different delicious meals every week and over 60 additional convenience options you can add on, like keto cookies, pressed juices, and smoothies. And because Factor meals are chef prepared and dietitian approved, you're going to love not only Factor's meals taste, but also how they support your goals, even if your goal was just making yourself dinner. Head to factormeals.com/Iliza50 and use code Iliza50 to get 50% off your first box and 20% off your next month. That's code Iliza50 at factormeals.com/Iliza50 to get 50% off your first box, plus 20% off your next month while your subscription is active. The holidays are here. And for a lot of us, the holidays mean decorating, hosting, celebrating. For me, it means a lot of traveling, and nothing feels better year-round, but especially during the cozy holidays, than a restful night's sleep in soft, luxurious sheets. Boll & Branch's signature sheets are made with the finest 100% organic cotton, and they get softer with every single wash. You already know that I got Boll & Branch this summer when I needed breathable sheets to sleep in, but this holiday season, I'm actually gifting some of my friends and family Boll & Branch's Ultimate Softness Bundle. I get to choose a signature hem sheet set in any color, a signature hem pillow set, and a waffle bed blanket. And they're all getting juniper because I think it's a classy color. This way, you know you have something nice to sleep on when you visit. It's the perfect gift for you and them. Gift you and your loved ones a better night's sleep with Boll & Branch. And right now is their best offer of the entire year. For 25% off plus free shipping on your first set of sheets, head to bollandbranch.com/Iliza. That's Boll & Branch, BOLLAND branch.com/Iliza for 25% off. Limited time only. Exclusions apply. See site for details. So finally, fall is here. I have been looking forward to it. I have had a hard year in a good way. I had a baby. I have been on a nonstop tour, nonstop traveling, and it's been hot. So I'm looking forward to, of course, pumpkin spice, everything, cooler weather, and slipping into a cozy sweater from Quince. I've talked about Quince before. Quince has beautiful leather jackets, cotton cardigans, soft denim, and so much more. All Quince items are priced 50 to 80% less than similar brands. Dressing expensive doesn't have to be expensive. Their clothing is beautiful, it's durable, it stands the test of time, and it's what I like to call a capsule wardrobe. I got an Italian wool cocoon coat. That's one of those, it's got like a European collar and it covers my butt so I can walk around New York City and not be chilly. And Quince only works with factories that use safe, ethical, and responsible manufacturing practices. Get cozy in Quince's high-quality wardrobe essentials. Go to quince.com/Iliza for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. That's QUINCE.com/Iliza to get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/Iliza.
Okay, so on that ticket sale flex of a note, let's ask the real questions because people were super excited. So, Mr. Jackson with 2 N's, how much time did you have to get into drag before a runway look on RuPaul's Drag Race?
It varies, Mr. Jackson. What happens is every episode is 2 days. Does that make sense? So the first day we go in order, we go into the workroom, we do our thing, we get our mini challenge, we film all that, blah, 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 blah. And then it gets to the end of the day and then we stop in the workroom and we go do our confessionals and then we go home. And then the next morning we come in knowing it's a runway day. We finish prepping of what we have to do. Then they tell us, go get ready. So sometimes we had an hour. Sometimes we had 45 minutes. It just varied on the particular day. Sometimes it was 2 hours, but they would be filming us, chatting with us and catching up with us in between. So you're never really guaranteed a set time because they might have pulled you aside to either talk to you or to film something. So it's kind of like, do it as fast as you can. And that's what most people don't realize. And when you get to episodes where there's like the glitter ball or where we're doing 3 and 4 looks in one episode, that is a fucking shit show because we're on a separate stage. So we run back, we get like 10 minutes, 15 minutes in between to switch looks and then go back to the other set because you can't keep Rue waiting. So that's a whole other thing.
You can't. Well, here's a question. This is, no one wrote this in, but I have a question because I look at you guys put the glue on your eyebrows and the wear and tear on your face. What do you do to keep your face happy?
Well, for me, it was literally just scrubbing your face and moisturizing as much as you can every night. Because like I said, every 2 days is one episode. So we're not doing it week to week to week. We're doing it literally every day for a consecutive amount of days. Then we get a break for a day or two and then back on. So it's moisturize and drink. I didn't even drink the whole time I was there, which was wild. So I wasn't drinking. I was drinking lots of water. So doing the best I can to save what's left of my face. Yeah.
Was the Bianca Del Rio makeup always what it is now, or did it evolve over time?
I think with everything, it's gotten more. I mean, I've always enjoyed a lash and a white eyeliner, but then it's just gotten a little heavier. Now I'm a more glamorous raccoon. Yeah, I think it always evolves. And I think it depends. Like right now, in quarantine, I haven't been doing much drag. So it's like doing it, starting from scratch again. You're just like, wait, where does this go? What does it do? But then there's times when I'm on the road for 6 months that it's just plowing it out every night. So I think it just varies and depends on what mood I'm in or how many drinks I've had.
And but also, people expect a certain look.
Yeah.
And are you like, this is the character, she stays similar looking, or do you ever want to do something different, or do you feel beholden to the way people know Bianca looks?
I mean, I prefer to do what I know, and I'm not soft, delicate beauty like some of these young gals. So for me, it's, I stick with what I know, and you add a lash. I might change a lip color, but I'm pretty lazy.
Change that lip. Change that lip up. I Have Flaws says, what's the best drag advice you've received? And what do you think is the best drag advice to have given another queen? It's a difficult question.
Sure.
I love you both so much. Give some drag advice.
I would say,
however you want to answer that.
Don't do it. It's a trap. I think a friend of mine did tell me. A friend of mine said because I started on New Year's Eve in 1996, I believe. And a friend of mine said, if whatever you're doing on New Year's Eve is what you're going to do for the rest of your life, which I thought was the stupidest shit in the world because usually people are drunk. But it was so weird that I'd started on New Year's Eve and then it just kind of became my life. I think, look, now there's so many rules about who can you drag and who can and what type of drag it is. Do whatever the fuck you want, whatever makes you happy. If it's a wig and no makeup, fine. If it's all makeup and no wig, that's fine. You could be a boy, you could be a girl, you could, be non-binary. Live your life. Just do what you want. And I think with drag, anything is possible. Whatever brings you joy. There's no right or wrong way to do it. So find your own,
I do think it's interesting, there's these like social sort of outliers, like drag was not a mainstream thing and now it's become DragCon, it's become this thing. And then it's funny because the public wants to put it, no pun intended, in a box. Yeah. And you're like, well, this is the way to do it. And you're like, but it's art. So how can we define it when it's supposed to be this gender bending genre?
Yeah, and I think it's important to find those pieces of people and things and styles, and you can be obviously influenced by someone, but I think it's important to kind of mix it up. There's no set rules, and just make magic for yourself. I mean, we're all gonna die, so fuck it, have a drink and enjoy yourself.
Isn't that the theme of this podcast? We're all going to die, so get in drag.
2020, shit. Oh, God.
I mean, what a shit show. So you mentioned style and finding your style. Smoking Vixen says, if you could only have one style icon, who would it be and why? Or who is your style icon?
Well, there's a couple. I mean, I'm a huge fan of Joan Crawford. I'm a huge fan of Shirley Bassey because they dress like drag queens. But yeah, I mean, one is dead and one's still alive. But I would say those two are a good mix of it. I mean, I don't like I'm not into this young Taylor Swifty, sexy little sex kitten shit. That's not me. So I'm definitely an old lady. A mix of Joan Crawford, Shirley Bassey, and Bozo. That's my combination there.
Bozo cherry on the top.
And when I'm real drunk, Iris Apfel. You know that old lady that wears too much jewelry? Yeah.
Oh, yes.
I love her.
I mean, would call her a hoarder if not for the fact that it was organized.
There you go. That's
right?
That's good hoarding. I mean, I guess if you're hoarding in Manhattan, it's a little different than when you're in the middle of Oklahoma.
Well, then you're just an older Jew.
Yes, completely.
Sorry, it's true. Just newspapers stacked. So Rob Harmon, a very gifted makeup artist and one of my favorite people from my time spent making my sketch show, is a good friend of yours.
Yes.
And I was reminded of that because this next question, and I almost can plug it for myself. S. Garber, 167. Bianca, well, you kind of answered this. How long would you say it takes you to do a full glam makeup look? I always imagine it's hours. Also, what are your go-to makeup remover products? And I know that he has a product called the Bianca Remover because I've used it.
I do. Well, this all kind of started because my friend Rob Harmon, who, did your makeup and wigs and stuff, he created this brilliant product called the Magic Pads, which was kind of good for like oil control or acne on your face. And I'd gone to Australia to work, and this sounds very fancy, but it's really not. I went to Bali because it was near, and I had a week to hang out. And so Rob came to visit me, and we were chatting in the pool, and he said, let's do a beauty product, whatever. I said, well, no one's going to fucking buy a beauty product for me, but they'll probably buy a remover, because if this remover can remove my fucking bug, it can definitely help the average woman. So that's where we came up with it. And it's worked out well that we've been able to, sell it, and it's sold on Amazon, and it's the best because it just gets rid of all the buildup, and then you can use an actual cleanser for your face,
Mm-hmm. I think it's also like, it's coconut oil.
Yeah.
Like it's nothing nasty.
Oh, no, nothing nasty in it. No, and it's all vegan, natural. You can lick it, eat it, all that stuff. Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
It's good.
He did a great job.
It's just good to break up all that shit, the glue and the mascara and all that. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, because that's what people, I think we look at drag queens, we're like, how do they get in and out of that? So I love that we both have used the same product.
There you go.
Homely Pop says, hi friends. Bianca, do you get any royalties on the merch with Not Today Satan written on them in random stores? I've seen it at Hot Topic, Five Below, Marshalls, etc. I've always been curious. And I love the idea of the two most intelligent people in comedy talking shit. Well, that's us.
Is that from your assistant, Emily? I'm saying, no, I wish I would have, and it's one of those things where, out in the world, there's this thing called, what is that? Oh, Redbubble is the big site that does all of this kind of homemade t-shirts and printing and stuff like that. And constantly I'm sent stuff. Because now they were doing masks, they were doing this with my face on it and all of this. So legally, if your face is on it, you can do something about it. But if it's not your face and you don't have it copyrighted or trademarked or anything, you're fucked. So, one of those things at the time, I think it was over $10,000 or something crazy to trademark it. And it was like, now I'm like, but nonetheless.
Well, also, because what happens is you trademark it and all you're doing is sending cease and desist letters to Chinese companies. And they're like, okay, who cares? Like, what are you going to do?
It's true. It's fascinating. And there were so many masks, t-shirts, stickers, everything. And it always shows up on Bubble and someone always sends it to me. And then you're like, yep, I got to go and call them. But it's a pain in the ass. It's actually more work than it's worth.
It's more I get a little, there are certain phrases I've had and I see people I'm pretty sure I'm the first white girl to talk about fall and now everyone does it. But there's this one girl, I named one of my specials Elder Millennial and it's become a term and it is indisputable. I came up with that and I saw one girl who makes Elder Millennial shirts and it's her brand. And I'm like, do I blow up this girl's spot? What am I? It's what do you do? And she makes it as if she came up with it and it's part of her identity. And you're just like, okay, I hope you stub your toe, but I'm not gonna reach out.
But it's insane the amount of people that create it, and they get away with it. For, they can sell 100 of them before you even find out about it. And people always put it on my Facebook wall, especially with my image. There was a shirt in Brazil that just had me on it at their H&M, and it's fascinating that legally they do it, but then as soon as you call them out, you pray that they stop. But
get that Brazilian H&M money.
I know
that Rio H&M money.
That'd be real fucking nuts.
More questions about clothes. Harry Trees, question for Bianca. And it's funny that they wrote question for Bianca, because if they asked me, how do you find / order high-heeled shoes online for men? I'd be like, why are you asking me? So they ask tips on how to order high-heeled shoes online for men. The sizes are all over the place and hard to decide on the right size. Are they supposed to fit super snug? Should I be in unbearable pain constantly?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a high heel. As a woman, it's a high heel. Yes.
And have you ever met a pleasant drag queen? No. So when you think about it, it's like, well, it really depends on what you want to put up with. I started out by wearing a size 10 in women's many years ago. Now I'm in a size 12 women's. So they're very hard to find. You got to Google it. There's a company called Pleasers. Pleasers is like a hooker shoe company that has really great platforms, and they go up to size 16. So even Latrice buys shoes from there. So,
oh my God, that's so funny.
She can fit in the shoe, not in the boot, but you can get any of the shoes from there up to that size. But it's a play around. You got to see what's comfortable in your feet. Now a 12 fits me, but a 10 is how I started. So, but this great company called Pleasers is one of the ones that still carry large shoes. And it really depends on
that's very good to know.
How many tights you wear and stuff. Like I wear 3-4 pair of tights with heel, because I don't shave my legs. So you because I always wondered, so you wear that many tights because you don't shave your legs, so you want them to look smooth? Yeah, I don't shave my legs, and just for padding to smooth things out, you just add layer by layer by layer, and it just kind of smooths all your man business.
All your man business. It's actually interesting. Where do you live? Like, where's your home?
Now it's Palm Springs. Yeah, now I'm in Palm Springs.
Palm Springs.
Wow, yeah.
In Los Angeles on, I think it's Sunset, there's like a designer shoe warehouse. And that part of Sunset, because I used to live over there are a lot of, you can't even call them drag queens, but a lot of, I don't even know if you'd say trans, but men who definitely dress like women that are sex workers. I'm keeping these in separate boxes so as not to conflate the two.
Yes.
But there's a lot of men in women's clothing, making a living, whatever. And there are a lot of very large high-heeled shoes in this designer shoe warehouse.
That's very smart.
And you're like, what? And that's why, to cater to the 2 a.m. to 4 a.m. crowd, making that money. And
a good sensible hooker shoe. That
district manager understands the demographic.
Yeah, smart.
Yeah, very smart. Pause. Okay. What's your most favorite outfit you've ever worn?
Well, I always wear the same thing in every color, so it's not like I have a distinct idea of the favorite thing. It all kind of goes in time. Like at the time, I'm like, oh, I loved this outfit in the 90s, and then when I see the photo,
right.
What the fuck was I thinking? So I think it just it varies about where I am in the world, but I really don't stray away from things that don't. I like a lot of similar. I'm like the Queen of England. I wear the same dress in every color, so it just worked out well for me to find what works. So I don't really know of anything that just kind of jumps out that.
Well, because also you're not that queen.
No.
You're there to the act. Like you're like, I'm dressing like this, but this isn't a fashion moment. This is you looking like a woman, and you sew your own clothes.
Yes. Yeah. That's my real job.
I watched you had an Instagram video. I'm sure you have many of them, but you were doing a flower. Mm-hmm. This like very vaginal, intricate.
A lot of secretions and secrets and movements. Yeah.
I think Secretion was on season 3.
Secretion Jackson, yeah.
And it's just another layer of I think people think drag queens are just, they just do X, Y, and Z, but that is such talent to be able to execute that.
But that's where I started. And I think that's been the crazy thing is that, it's always been doing both the whole process for me because I enjoy that aspect of it. And now I think a lot of people, they go to these specific designers or they go to this wig person and they create the look and they just buy it. Where for me, I enjoy the process of creating it and making it for me. I don't want to work for people anymore, so that's good.
Right. I mean, do it yourself.
Yeah.
Dax as a name says, oh my God, this is the coolest thing ever. For Bianca, if you had the chance to deliver one piece of fashion advice to all men, what would it be?
Wait, as men or as men as drag queens or just men in general?
I think it's just men in general. I know that I have a lot of gay fans. I have a lot of trans fans. Yeah. And so I think, people can take a lot of advice. Like if you're giving advice to a man, like how can they look better?
I just say, don't be afraid to wear color. I think, Pink ain't bad. You know, when I was a kid, I remember, because I have 3 older sisters and a younger brother, that it was like pink wasn't allowed, blue was only this, lavender, forget it, yellow, maybe. So I think it's important just to wear color, whatever floats your boat. You know, I'm not into labels or designer wear that's like Nike, Gucci, or any of that. So I just think wear color. Don't be afraid to look like a sissy. It's all right.
Absolutely. I actually think a true statement of manliness is being comfortable with things that are girly, you know, or drinking a girly drink or wearing pink. Like, it shows that you're comfortable.
Yeah, and like getting your nails done. Yeah, that's important. Trimming your nose hair. That's all good shit. Yeah, that's not pansy.
Wash your penis. Yeah. Yes, you have to.
Well, for gay, wash your ass. Yeah, it's important.
Yes, and for those of you, actually, no, everyone, wash your ass.
Please.
Please. Teresa Reichel says, what do you do to calm down after a show / get you in the mood before a show?
Well, I drink. I'm a drinker. And when I'm on the road, you know, I don't know about you. Do you drink before you perform?
I do not.
You do not? Oh my God, you're much better than me.
I do not.
I have, well, I guess the way it sets up for me is that usually when I get to the venue, I have to be there in the afternoon around 3 or so. And then I have to do a meet and greet at 5:30. So I'll end up doing like 150 to 170 people that you have to meet before the show.
Do you do your meet and greet? You do it before?
Do it before. You know why? Because it breaks the ice. And usually that's the first 10 rows of the audience. So even if the whole show goes to shit, I got those 10 rows on my side and they're not drunk yet. I'm, you know, still fresh looking so we can get the photos, we chat with them, and I get to know everybody that's sitting there. And then I go back, they open the house and I can prep before the show. So I usually have a glass of wine or two is my breaker. Shut up.
He's like, or two,
3 or 4, a bottle. I'll have a bottle, but it's a long process, you know? So once I get through that, then when I'm done with the show, the great thing is that I can just get out of drag and then get on the bus and head to the next city. So it makes it easier than when you finish the show and then you're like, oh shit, now I got to go hug people. I'm sweaty, I'm gross. So we do it early, which is great.
Oh my gosh. This person didn't ask, but I'm just going to say, I always feel it'll give it like a kinahura if I do it before. And I always feel like the show and then like the meet and greet for me is earned. Like, I don't want to be like, aren't I amazing? And then like you shit the bed.
Well, you know,
so I like to do it after.
Yeah. Well, all they want is, I guess with drag in particular, all they're all about is getting a photo, you know? So that's usually what they expect. When you talk to them, sometimes they're surprised. They're like, oh, you talk? Because they've either dealt with some other bitch from Drag Race who was a cunt, or they're just not expecting you to be personable. But it's great for me because, as I said, you know, sometimes in those venues, all you can see is those first few rows. So by seeing them, then I know, oh, she's the fun one. She's the alcoholic. She's the hooker. She's
yes.
You know, that helps just for the layout for me for the show.
Sometimes it's all the same audience member, but yes, I understand that. Well, especially if you're doing so much crowd work, maybe this is like the inner tough girl lesbian in me, because I come off, I don't put makeup back on. I'm dripping buckets. I'm in my sweatpants after. And I'm like, this is what I look like. Come get your picture. I love you. Mama loves you.
There's enough horrible pictures of me in drag online. I don't need to add to it. So they get me early when I'm fresh. Yeah.
I respect that. Interesting.
Yeah.
I've noticed that, at least since I've had my babies, that I smell differently when I sweat. Maybe I'm just like getting older. I don't know, but I smell differently. And I don't love that. If I'm on set or if I'm on stage or if I'm doing anything like functioning in public and I don't want sweat stains or to be aware of my stinky pits, that's when I turn to Lumi whole body deodorant because it keeps me smelling fresh all day. Lumi is seriously safe to use anywhere on your body. Pits, under boobs, right ladies, thigh folds, belly buttons, butt cracks, your feet. It's clinically proven to block odor all day and control odor for up to 72 hours. How? Well, unlike certain traditional deodorants that may try to mask odor with a fragrance, Lumi is formulated and powered by mandelic acid to stop odor before it starts. Lumi's starter pack is perfect for new customers. It comes with a solid stick deodorant, cream tube deodorant, 2 free products of your choice like mini body wash or deodorant wipes, and free shipping. As a special offer for listeners, new customers get 15% off all Lumi products with our exclusive code If you combine the 15% off with the already discounted starter pack, that equals over 40% off the starter pack. Use code Iliza for 15% off your first purchase at LumiDeodorant.com. That's code Iliza at LumiDeodorant.com.
A hilarious new stand-up special from comedy legend Jim Gaffigan, The Skinny, is coming to Hulu November 22nd. This Thanksgiving, see Jim in a whole new light as he gives you the inside scoop on everything from parenting teenagers to weight loss and gaslighting family members. For everyone in need of a happy hour, the new hilarious stand-up special, Jim Gaffigan, The Skinny, premieres November 22nd, streaming on Hulu.
Vidilla_Hun says, how do you keep up with your gigs I think what they mean is, how do you keep your gigs updated with pop culture?
Well,
I think what...
Yeah, well, I mean, let's be real. In this past 4 years, it's been wild. And I mean, I think because of social media and there's so much out there, that there's something every day you can talk about. So even though I'm on the road and I'm doing a scripted show, depending on where I am, things might be put out of order. You know, if I'm in Ireland, they don't want to hear about Trump, but if I'm in Oklahoma, they don't want to hear about Theresa May in the UK. So you just have to kind of float with whatever's happening. I mean, things happen at the airport, things happen at the hotel. So I always try to incorporate them into the show if I see that it works. So, I mean, I think just the access to everything, our phones, Twitter and Instagram, there's always a headline that you can grab from or something that you can mold to that particular craft.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Same person. Well, Teresa Reichel also asks, seems like you work 25 hours a day, 8 days a week. What do you do for fun if you have time?
I drink.
I would like to know that also.
Well, the thing was, I really hadn't had much fun because I was determined once I did Drag Race in a nutshell. When I got back, I was like, look, I don't know how much time I have. I'm now 45. I'm like, I'm going to plow through this and work as much as I can, because I know this is a golden moment and I'm enjoying it. So I know I'm not going to do this forever. So this past Corona situation has put it out. I knew I was coming back from London to buy a house. I found a house that I liked and I was able to move in. So this is like the first time in 7-8 years that I've had time off, on my own schedule and in a new home. So it's all been really lovely to get the house settled and get organized. But really, this is what I've been doing, is just kind of settling myself here with my dogs and forcing myself to go into the pool once a day, to feel like, all right, this is what you're here for. It's Palm Springs. It's fucking.
This is what.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's really been it in the past 8 years. So hopefully maybe when we travel, I'll get to have a real vacation. But overall, I just enjoy getting to do my own projects and set my own schedule for once,
I you know what? I get it. I'm so with you. I'm always looking at people that have like canoeing and I'm like, don't you want to work?
Yep.
Don't you want to get this money?
There's always something to do, though. There's always, especially with drag in particular, you're either writing jokes and you're plotting and planning, or you're ordering hair, you're ordering shoes, you're getting your costumes together. It's always there's always something to be done,
Absolutely.
And that's what I've kind of been doing in Corona. It's just doing that, and then occasionally going in the pool or having that third drink. You know how it is. Yeah.
No, I do, because I've never heard. Everyone's always like, I like to unwind, and I'm like, unwind? Why? So you're vulnerable? No, it's time to work. Oh, I love you.
Now, I'll take a
Schneeds.
Valium or a Xanax, and then that takes me someplace. Yeah. That's my location. Yeah, that's what I do. That's my vacation.
There you go.
Yeah.
Katie Schneeds, I feel like a lot of people want to know this. If Bianca was stuck in the workroom with 3 RuPaul's Drag Race alum for eternity, who would she pick and why? Ugh, that's a big one.
Oh, God.
You're like, I hate them all. Fuck
yeah,
it.
I do. No, that's funny. Shockingly, I don't hate them all. It's weird. I mean, I would have to say Courtney and Adore and Darian from my season, because we just had that experience together, and that was so.
Darian Lake.
Oh, Darian Lake.
Yeah.
Fucking riot. She's a nasty bitch, and I love every minute of it. But what's so great about them is that we went through this whole journey together, and after the show, we became obviously even closer because there was a time when we were touring together and we were doing all these events. And then we were lucky enough, I think about 2 years ago, to do a tour together in the UK. And it's just great to visit with them after 5 years. And they've been out here to my house and they come visit. I've seen them in London, and Dora lives 2 hours away from me. So yeah, I think they're the coolest and easiest. And because we laugh a lot, we've had this group text that we started as soon as we finished filming, and we've kept it since then. And the amount of shit that's in there, every day I wake up, we have 10 things to discuss, and then we move on to the next topic. And so it's pretty amazing. So I would pick them, I would say.
It's like The View with more makeup, if you can believe it. Yeah. I love that. I loved Adore's aesthetic because it was like a Prince music video. Like she's got this like 80s, 90s back alley rocker vibe. I love that. I also, I just want to talk about drag queens all day. Okay. The Matthew Grant, that's what I was gonna say. You said Courtney Act. Yeah. I always, because I'm such a workhorse, I always respect the queens like a Courtney Act. And there was one, I'm blanking on it this season, that are just like focused. And they're like, I am a consummate professional. I don't fuck up. I do my songs. I do my dance. Yeah. And like Miss Cracker was kind of like that, although she put too much pressure on herself. I like a high strung queen that just like gets her shit done.
Yeah, I agree. You know, that's the other thing too. Like Courtney in particular she's not as old as I am. I mean, she's about, I think, 10 years younger, but she, what was interesting is that she had been around. You know, she had worked. She had also done the Australian Idol, their equivalent to American Idol. And she's been in the business a while, done a lot of cruises and stuff. So she looked at Drag Race, as I did, as this opportunity, not necessarily a way of life. We just thought, well, let's take a shot. What do we have to lose? And once I saw her there, I was like, oh, fuck. I was like, she's going to win because she's gorgeous and talented and amazing, bitch. But, you know, it worked out in my favor.
Yes, it did.
Yeah.
The Matthew Grant says, if you could write yourself into one TV comedy series, past or present, what would you choose?
Oh, God. Well, I mean, I'd be really gay if I said Golden Girls, but there really is no room for me in that. I do enjoy that show. I would have to say, what was a favorite show? Well, I mean, I also loved the Carol Burnett show, but that's a whole nother thing.
Right. Maybe like an ensemble. Like, I mean, I was thinking like, I like watching Lucifer because Tom Ellis is hot. I'm like, I'd be written in to have sex with him as a demon.
Oh yeah. Well,
and that's it.
Yeah. I'll split him with you. How's that? We could both do it. I would say, great. You know what? I would love to be like Murder, She Wrote. That would be good. Because I love Angela Lansbury and I love the fact that everybody in the town dies. So I would do that. I would Murder, She Wrote.
You're like, I like that everyone's dead.
It's true.
McCuddles 23, and I think I know the answer to this. Okay. What was your favorite challenge during your time on RuPaul's Drag Race?
Oh, my absolute favorite was the rap challenge was my favorite. When we had to rap.
Oh.
And, it was Trina and Eve that were there. And it was just one of those completely out of my realm, my box, my world that I thought, oh, this is fucking fun. Either I'm going to go home or I'm going to just cackle. Well, even if I went home, I'd be cackling. But they were so cool and it was so fun and it was just so out of my comfort zone that was my favorite episode. Yeah.
Question. And this is a question for you. So I watch the show religiously and sometimes these challenges, you know, I'll watch a certain team and I'm like, oh no, this girl doesn't have the cognitive skills. She can't, or she absolutely can't dance. Is there a certain amount of zhuzhing done by the producers to make sure you don't just are standing there with your dick in your hand? Like, because it always gets pulled together. Or is it just you're on your own?
Oh, that's an amazing visual, standing there with your dick in your hand. But I have to say, no. What's so weird is the first day you're very aware that there's 10 cameras on you, like for the first 15 minutes. And then all this shit starts happening that literally as you progress, you just kind of forget. So I don't even know, like a camera may be on me. I don't know if they're filming me. I don't know what it is. And it's one of the things that people always tell me now as they go, oh, I knew from the first episode that you were going to win. And I'm like, yeah, but you're seeing their version they're presenting. We're doing this hours and hours and hours. So you never know what's going to make it. You never know what's going to air. You never know what's going to get cut out. You don't know the other person's story in the confessional. So if she's struggling and if they add that new thing, yeah. So we're kind of like in the dark, just plowing along with it, you know?
I guess I kind of mean like when they'll issue a challenge and you've got to come up with your own song or your own thing. And, you know, Rue goes around the workroom and she's like, hey, can I just fuck with you? And you tell me why you were abused as a child and then I get you to cry on camera. And sometimes they're just like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. I just always wonder, because everybody always kind of pulls it out in the end unless it's a bad snatch game.
Well, you really have no choice. I mean, you got to remember, even though it's a competition, it's a television show. So it's like literally, you're the least common denominator there. You're the least common important person. Literally, they want you, let's go. It's TV time. Time is money. Get out there, sink or swim. So you just pull it out of your ass,
You make that choice.
Completely.
Woo. Grace Face 518. And I'm reticent to read this because the wording of it, personally, I'm like, oh, you don't learn it, you just are. But how did she learn to be so snappy and sassy? She's so quick-witted, and I could use a little more of the magic in my life. So give us your drug secrets.
I just said, just don't filter it. Like, fuck it, say it. It's such a weird world now, and I know you probably experienced this as well, is that so many people tell you that you can't say this or you can't do this. And then usually someone's response is, well, it's comedy. I can do what I want. Well, the way it works is you can say whatever you like, and there's an audience for it somewhere. And if you're not interested in it, then you just got to go and live your life, or turn the other cheek, or go watch someone else. I think what's important is just, if you're thinking it, I'm sure someone else is thinking it too. So just fucking own it. Like, what do you got to lose?
Absolutely. I own a home because of that principle.
Exactly. I got a pool because of that. Yeah, it's just own your shit and just say it. Like don't try to sugarcoat it. I mean, there are situations and places where you shouldn't say and do things. I wouldn't recommend going to church and having a moment. But in theory, like in the world, just call it out and own it. Don't put up with other people's shit. Life's too fucking short.
Life's too short. Be kind and don't put up with shit. So the show is called Ask Iliza Anything, and you know what? We'll do one more RuPaul's Drag Race question if that's okay, and then we'll do the advice stuff.
Whatever you like.
Okay, great. The real Molly Price. I actually just screamed, I love you both so much. Two of the funniest people alive. Question for Bianca. You're the funniest and fiercest queen ever, so I would love to know your favorite Snatch Game performance/performances post season 6.
Ooh.
If you even watch it.
Okay. Well, she's got lovely taste, and I would say... Well, wow, my favorite, or the most memorable, because I kind of get the last few seasons confused, I would have to say was Bob the Drag Queen, who was playing Carol Channing and the girl from Orange is the New Black. I can't remember her name, the actress.
Was it Taryn Manning?
It was the crazy eyes.
Uzo Adoba.
Yes.
Uzo Adoba, yes.
So she played her and she played Carol Channing, which was amazing.
Yes.
Very funny. Bob's a friend of mine, so I thought, and he won. He won that challenge. So yes.
No, he was great.
Great. Good time.
So the show is called Ask Iliza Anything, and people have real life advice questions. So I was like, let's let Bianca Del Rio weigh in on the outcome of people's lives.
Oh God. The suicide rate is gonna go right up.
Anonymous asks, hi to all the usual suspects and beautiful Queen Bianca. As I'm sure many others are, I've been really struggling with my anxiety during quarantine. I'm a private chef in San Francisco, and I spend most of my days alone, either cooking or shopping. Do either of you have any tips on trying to channel my anxiety towards something positive during this uneasy time? I've tried reading, running, meditating. I just find it so hard to get out of that dark pit that is my mind. Any advice is appreciated.
Well, are you cooking for yourself or cooking for people? That I don't know. I mean, is cooking your passion? Does that give you some joy? I mean, the only thing I really can say is drink. That's what I've been doing. Go to bed. Take an edible. Weed gummies are fucking magical, I must tell you. I started taking my little weed gummies, and it takes the edge off for me. And because here it's legal here in Palm Springs, and you can buy from the dispensary, so it's not like I'm getting some hooked up shit off the corner. It helps, and it gets rid of
It's special.
Yeah, so it works for me. So yeah, weed gummies are a real fucking treat.
The answer, Bianca Del Rio says weed gummies. I don't know. My thought honestly would be, just feel it. Everybody thinks that they have to like fix the anxiety. I feel like you let it like run through you, acknowledge that it's normal, and then power watch like 8 episodes of Lucifer and just like enjoy your dreams.
Well, if you're feeling real shitty, put on Hoarders, and that'll fucking change your world. You watch these people and you go, fuck, my life's not so bad. Not bad at all.
I mean, but then you're like, and yet they all are married. You're like, so what's going on?
Always.
Question for you and Bianca, Anonymous. My partner and I, we are gay men, are moving in together next week. I've been really looking forward to spending my first Christmas with my boyfriend in our first place together. Historically, Christmases have been pretty shitty for me. I recently asked my boyfriend what our plan was for Christmas, and he told me he would be going to his dad's house, who is homophobic and doesn't know about me, for Christmas. My family lives in another province. Okay, they're Canadian. And we have a dog and a cat, so it would be too expensive for me to fly home to see my family. Do I have the right to be upset that he's seeing his dad for Christmas and that I'll be alone at home for 3 days during the holidays? Also, I'll be at your show in Calgary, October 3rd. Can't wait. Me too. Okay. So, does he have a right? I don't know how long they've been together.
Well, that's a big question. Like, I mean, obviously, if you've been together for a minute, you are aware that this person's father is homophobic. But, you know, I don't look at holidays as a big thing. I don't go, oh, it's Christmas, I've got a script. Like, it doesn't matter to me. And I'm sure you feel the same way. You're on the road, you're going, oh,
I'm Jewish.
What? There you go. It's like, I might as well be Jewish because it doesn't mean shit to me. So I have to say, I don't get wrapped up in that. Now, you need to have a talk with your boyfriend about this. But if he's got a relationship with his father, sometimes we just have to put up with their bullshit just to keep that open line of communication, you know? And I mean, really, do you want to be someplace where his father's homophobic? Who the fuck wants to do that? It doesn't make sense. You know, would you want to be there? No. I wouldn't want to be someplace.
Yeah, why do you want to be there?
No.
Especially around the holidays.
No.
Also, it's only 3 days, and I'm sure you have other friends. You can clean up you can spend time with the dogs. Yeah.
A cat and a dog. Exactly.
Just enjoy that free healthcare.
Exactly. You're in Canada. Hello.
I know.
Living their life.
Yeah. Living their lives.
A Canadian
Anonymous.
complaining. Really? Oh, get out of here.
It says anonymous, but then it says the person's name.
Yeah. They didn't think it through.
It says Tess. Okay, well, anonymous Tess. My oldest friend of 15 years seems to be dumping me. Okay, we get a lot of these on the show. We get a lot of female on female friendship ending quandaries. Okay. My oldest friend of 15 years seems to be dumping me as a friend or putting in more effort into her other friendships. She says, I do not put in the same level of effort she does. I don't call her text enough because she does it every day, or come to visit enough. She recently moved and had a housewarming. I didn't go because I live in a different province. Again, I didn't want to fly because of COVID and health reasons. So I'm fairly new, and I'm a fairly new driver. So I didn't feel comfortable driving 13 hours through the Rockies on my own. She made a comment about her friend driving 4 hours and buying her a $200 charcuterie board. All I can do is apologize. I plan to send flowers. Her friendship is incredibly important to me. Any advice?
Oh, God, white people. God.
You just know it.
Girl, charcuterie board.
Charcuterie and Canada and worrying like this. Oh, it's so true.
No wonder this bitch hates you. You sound miserable. Now, I don't understand this. Maybe I'm crazy, but I have friends, and my friends understand my life. I understand their life. We understand we're in different cities. We catch up when we can. We're in different time zones. And I mean, maybe because I'm old, but we just pick up where we leave off, you know, and I don't think of one friend more special than the other. And I don't feel that they owe me any of that. You know what I mean? They don't owe me shit.
Yes.
So if I see you, I see you. And if you can't make it, you can't make it. It's a birthday. And then, you know, it's a housewarming. Fine. I'm here anyway. So I don't get wrapped up in that kind of shit. And I think this bitch is just losing her mind because she's home during COVID. Is that what it is?
I think it's that. And I'll tell you something else, anonymous Tess. I've missed almost everyone important in my life's wedding or birthday because we work. And that's what you're supposed to do. But also, you sound very young to me. And the closer you are to the realm of academia when you're younger, the more important that, like, oh, you texted me, you didn't text me back. Yeah. When you're in your 30s, everybody kind of gets that we're all spread out.
Yeah, you're also waiting for them not to text back. You're like, let me just do this. You're like, don't respond. They're like, oh, yeah, sorry I missed it. I was busy. You know? Yeah.
Yes.
You got to pick and choose your battles, and God bless. I mean, come on. If she's your friend, she's your friend. Don't try to manipulate it or see through it. Like, it's not that bad. It's not that bad.
She sounds emotionally draining and demanding. I also, just because you were like, oh, I text them, hope they don't text back. My biggest pet peeve is the disingenuous, like someone will be like, how's LA? I'm like, how do I answer? How's LA? How's life? You good? Where do I begin? It's up there with someone saying congrats. It's like, I'm just going to throw it out there. I don't mean it.
Oh, with the latest
hope you die.
during COVID, how are you holding up? Oh, yeah, because it's so difficult being in my home in Palm Springs. I don't get on the news, but in the end, I'm like, well, I'm doing like everybody else is doing, trucking the fuck along, hoping I get to work soon, hoping I don't have to wear my mask everywhere. But this is the shit we have at the moment. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not dead, so there's Hello. Last advice question. Right. Oh, wait, hold on. This is one more. Okay, we'll do an advice and then one thing. Because, I have a thought. Tell me if I'm right or wrong. I hope it doesn't offend you. I doubt it will.
Okay.
A lot of drag queen names, they're like very sexual, very like homosexual specific, a lot of very sexual references. Because I was thinking about your name and I was like, White River. It's Jizz, right? That's what that is, right?
Wait, no. You know what's funny? I got to tell you a story. You're going to laugh. I always find, because there's drag queens with punny names, like Tequila Mockingbird or Mimi I'm First, which are all.
By the way, what a horrible story to be mocking.
No, it's true, but
for anyone.
Exactly. But what's fascinating is that I find the queens that usually have funny names aren't funny in real life. Like the best is their name when they introduce them. But with me, you'll appreciate this story. So when I started drag, I was doing a play called Psycho Beach Party. And in the show, I played the bitch on the beach, a drag role, and her name was Marvel Ann. So when I started performing, I just used Marvel Ann because that was the name that I knew. Then my friend came to me and she's like, girl, we need to give you a new name. And I was like, what? Like, I don't know. She's, well, I have this friend of mine, Bianca, that passed away, and you remind me a lot of her. And I'm like, oh, this is great. So that's Bianca Del Rio happened. Yeah, you're going, that's exactly what I did. Cut to 17 years later, I'm doing Drag Race, and it's the night that I won, and I'm scrolling through my phone. It's everybody saying, congratulations. And one of them was from my friend, Nikki Rich, the drag queen. She says, congratulations. So happy for you. I just have to let you know that Bianca is not dead. She's pissed. Lives in Florida and has the same name. I had no fucking clue that Troll had a 17-year joke and did not even tell me. So there's some bitch in Florida who probably gets more hate mail than I do. But there you go. There you go.
Oh my God. Well, she's just salty because she's named after Jizz. That's what I thought. I thought it was like peak homoerotic references.
I'm glad you found something in it. I didn't plan it that way, but yeah. I mean, at this point, I can't even produce fluid. I'm so old. So yeah, that's great. Yeah, Jizz all over my face.
I was like, I never even say Jizz, and I was like, I'm going to go on my podcast, and Bianca's going to be like, oh my God, Eliza, you're so smart. Nobody's ever gotten that but you.
Oh yeah, wait, we can edit this. Oh my God, Eliza, you're so smart. Exactly it. You're the first to crack the code.
I cracked it. Because Nomi Sibosato asked what drag names didn't make it, but were close to being the one you settled on. So I guess that's the answer. You started out with Marvista.
Yeah, it was just name in the show. I couldn't think of anything, and that was kind of how it just evolved.
Oh my God, that is amazing. It's time for Top of the Cob.
It's the Top of the Cob. We're doing it right every day. You just take a bite. Top of the Cob.
Bianca Del Rio, whose name's origins we fully understand now, and we'll forego the lore.
Yes.
What is your top of the cob?
My top would have to be, just in general, is laughter. I don't know. I mean, I try to find the funny in everything. I'm the person who will laugh at a funeral. I will laugh when someone falls. I enjoy laughter, hearing it, receiving it, just like oral sex. It's the same thing. So I would say oral sex and laughter are two things that I enjoy. Yeah. Top.
I noticed that you said hearing it, receiving it. You didn't say giving it.
No.
You don't want to like to give.
All my teeth are fake. It's too risky.
It's too risky. My top of the cob, and I feel like I've mentioned this a couple times in the show, I'm really enjoying watching Lucifer. I'm sorry, they're not paying me to say this. We've promoted other shows.
You're all on it. You're all on it.
Here's my thing.
Talk to me.
My top of the cob is a combination of Lucifer, so Tom Ellis playing the devil. I get turned on when his eyes go red.
Yeah.
And by that same dark token, I'm also turned on by Kayvon Novak, who plays Nandor on What We Do in the Shadows, as a vampire as is. So there's something about like a darkness, other-worldly person.
Thing that you enjoy.
Which I don't do that. Like, I'm not into that, and I don't like any of the Twilight things, but there's something about these men as these weirdos.
Going. Yeah, that gets your White River flowing. Yeah, I get it.
Yes. I would be their dark mistress.
You do it, bitch. You do it. I'm not mad at you because they're both handsome. Yes, so I agree. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to work.
Yes.
Okay. What is your bottom of the cob, Bianca Del Rio?
I have two. One of them is drag queens that don't wear earrings. I don't fucking stand it.
Ooh.
It's a big problem for me because they will take a photo or they'll show up at an event and they have all this hair on, all this lash, contouring, feathers, and nothing on their fucking ears. It's like, bitch, your face is not pretty enough to not have something distracting from it. You're a man. Put a fucking earring on. That makes me crazy. It just seems very unfinished. Do you know what I mean? And
I do.
Once you see it, you're going to notice it on other drag queens. Whenever you see them, you're like, Also, lately, the bottom of the cob that makes me crazy is that, we've been wearing these fucking masks, and every time I go into a store, whether it's the grocery store or to Target, that I'm always like, what's that smell? And I realize it's my breath inside the mask. So that's the bottom of the cup. I'm like, ooh, this fucking store stinks, and I'm wearing this. I'm like, oh, it's me.
It's me.
Yeah.
It's
breath.
me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's problematic. I don't like smelling my own breath if I don't have to.
Yeah, you know what? Had prior to this morning, because I drank a bunch of wine last night. Of course, I brushed my teeth, but today I only ate Rice Krispie treats, and I was just in my mask. And I was just like, I feel like something's wrong. Yeah, it's one in a quarantine. That's a great bottom of the cob. No, your own breath.
Because you're walking around, you're just like, first of all, you can't breathe, and then all you get is your own smell, and you're like, what is that?
Yeah,
it's me. Yeah,
it's me. Okay, it's interesting you say that because mine is also a smell. My bottom of the cob is. Sometimes this is so specific, if you have prosciutto, but it's warm, it smells like a wet dog.
Yes.
And it tastes like a wet dog.
Wait, and you know what else smells like a wet dog too is eyelash glue that's gone bad. Whenever eyelash glue gets old, it has that same wet Frito dog paw. Yeah. Same smell.
It was just, it's this expensive ingredient. And I'm like, this shouldn't be a hot meat. You shouldn't be heating it up.
No, it shouldn't. No, but I agree. Yeah.
It should not be
hot meat. Hot meat don't sound good. No.
No hot meat.
I also get
that is
another bottom of the cup too is when I smell people, like there's a difference if we're on smells. There's a difference between people that smell because they don't wear deodorant or someone who wants to go natural or someone who doesn't like fragrances. But there's a difference, what I call the crock pot smell. When someone, when you go to someone's house and you go, what you cooking? And they go, nothing. It's that smell. And a lot of drag queens,
it's a baked in, lived in smell.
Yeah, it's marinating. Yeah. It's something suspicious boiling underneath. Yeah, that to me, I don't like. And drag queens that smell like that make me very nauseous.
It's like you smell too much like a lived-in home, like you're in your own skin boiling. Yeah, okay.
Correct. In a crock pot that's been about 3 or 4 hours in. Yeah, it's that cheese wet mop sewer water mixture.
It's
clinical.
And people, and people who don't. We had a sound guy on something I worked on who had horrific halitosis breath, and he would mic you, and he was the nicest man, but he's right up on you putting this microphone, and you're doing this, like, and I'm like, is he not getting these visual cues? Does his wife, is she also a lizard? Like, how is this? I don't know how people I know everything bad about me. I know because I've gotten a social cue.
Sure.
And do people they're like, fuck it?
Well, first of all, I want to ask you, how long did you and that guy date after? But the thing is, when you're in it, like, you got to be conscious of it, especially like when you're working in the industry, people are in your face. Television's always that weird thing, or movies when they're up on you. Like, I'm aware of everything that's going on. I'll over deodorize, I'll over perfume, anything that I can do so that I don't have that lived in smell. Do you know what I mean?
Yes, and I don't want people saying that about me.
No, and it's every now and then you get that one person that, smells like they ate a shit sandwich, It's like, you're like...
Yes. What happened? Where's your mother? What happened here? Well, on that note, Bianca Del Rio, I watched the show. I rooted for you. I texted about you. I've always been a fan, and this was just, we don't have a lot of guests, mostly because most people don't want to come on the show, but
maybe it's your breath. No, I say thank you. I'm a huge fan of yours, and congratulations on the show, and of course your other show. And I hope to see you more. You got to come out to Palm Springs. We can hang out and drink in the pool, eat crispy treats. It'll be good.
I would love that. And so I'm going to do your plugs because I think it's tacky when hosts are like, and where can people find you? Because I don't fucking know. So I'm going to plug your shit for you. If you see Bianca on the street and call her Bianca, you can also say Roy. That is his Christian name. It's at the Bianca Del Rio on Twitter and Instagram, and thebiancadelrio.com. You got all the articles, all the thes.
Yes.
It's the Bianca Del Rio everywhere. Please see this person live.
I have because the girl, the other queen is. Yes! Yeah!
Oh.
I know.
I will spend the balance of this afternoon looking up Otro Bianca Del Rio.
You need to look up on Facebook too, because there's always like a 15-year-old girl at a quinceañera, and that's her real name, Bianca Del Rio. So you'll see me in the mix. But yes, do enjoy.
Oh my God. Okay. Well, I love you, and I look forward to seeing you again one day in person.
All right, my love. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much.
Bye, Emily.
Thank you.
Thank you.
High Five Casino lets you play your favorite slot and live table games like blackjack with the chance to redeem for real cash prizes. High Five Casino has a giant selection of over 1,200 games, including hundreds of exclusive games only found on High Five Casino. It's always free to play, and free coins are given out every 4 hours. Ready to have your own high five moment? Visit highfivecasino.com. That's casino.com. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. Must be 21 years or older. Terms and conditions apply.